Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the last day of the World Spa and Wellness Asia Online Convention. An important topic we have for you this afternoon, marketing strategy, promoting your business on a shoestring. Many of us will have had the accountant say, we've got to cut back. So marketing is as important as ever, but without blowing the budget. And I've got three excellent speakers here who's going to explore those ideas. Doris Gom, who's a strategic marketing specialist out of Singapore. Liz Othman, who's the owner of the Teratak Spa in Penang, Malaysia. And last but not least, Pam Nopasri, who's the founder of the Pan Plus Plus marketing agency in Bangkok, an international array of speakers. I'm out of London, Mark Maloney. Without any further ado, Doris, what are your ideas on marketing on a shoestring?
Hi, everyone. Well, I'm Doris Gill from Asia Land and Sea. My company is actually an eco project developer, and we offer investment opportunities in land ownership and resort development. But besides that, we're also a white label hospitality solutions provider, where we have a multi-talented cast of hospitality development specialists in asset management, real estate development, and hotel operations. And I must say thanks to World Spa for bringing us all together to share our combined experience across Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. And we hope to give everyone some recommendations on how best to approach and execute smart marketing in cost-effective ways. Now, this is especially tailored for independent retailers and boutique companies. And like Mark have said, we all know that there are very many challenges to marketing when you're small on resources. However, we think that with creativity and talent, it is very possible to be big on success. And I'm happy to talk you through 10 free marketing ideas on a shoestring budget. Now, here's the first idea, which I'm sure you all know. And that is number one, leveraging good content marketing through social media channels. So you can start a Facebook group or promote your services on Instagram. And I actually know of a lady who was a church helper, and she was able to turn her hobby into a regular, well-paying job just by promoting her talent on her Instagram account. Now, number two, those of you who are in retailing businesses may use Shopify or Shopee to start selling your products, and you can actually get online to see how easy it is to partner with Shopify or Shopee. And in fact, Instagram is now partnering with Shopify to take things further and also offering products tagging and even a shop tag directly inside the Instagram interface. So Mark, shall I go on and talk about all my 10 ideas before my partners comes in, my panelist comes in?
I think so. We'll carry on. I mean, you mentioned Doris, promoting yourself. I think a lot of people will be nervous and think, well, I've seen all these great people on Instagram or whatever. And I think what the consumer wants is authenticity. And they want to go behind the scenes, don't they? So actually, for those thinking, oh, that's not for me because I'm a little older and I'm no longer 18 and I've got a few more gray hairs. I think people want to get behind the scenes, and I'm sure they'd be love to go behind the scenes at your spa in Penang and see you. They love getting behind the scenes and the problems and how you overcome them. So I don't think we need to be presentational stars to do that, do we, Doris?
No, we don't. In fact, my third idea is actually very simple. It's literally to create a Google My Business account. And many people don't know, but Google actually offers free business profiles where you can personalize with photos, offers, posts, and more for your storefront or service area. So you can actually customize and manage your online profile on Google Search and Maps, and actually turn people who are looking for your specific products into new customers. So that's very simple, right? And the fourth idea literally is similarly to seek out how to list your business or services in local free business or retail directories, right? So that's already 4 ideas. Now, the fifth idea is very simple, just to make story contributions to publications that are subject relevant so that it ties in with your business, with the seasonality of festivals. And you can also search for websites or publishers that are looking for stories, content to pitch to. So, and
I think that's
I
a
think
very
what I'll
good.
do is,
I think it's a very good idea, because I think as a publisher ourselves, we have 5, 6 magazines, both online and old-fashioned print. And my editors are always looking for good content. You know, I think
absolutely.
a lot of people will think, oh, I've got to be spectacular to be in this publication on this website. But actually, if you think the other way, the editor, she's looking for content. And if it's authentic again, and what this is you've done, I think quite often you'll find an open door.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think people are also looking for the, like you said, the original, the traditional, and things that they lost, which is down, the traditions, like what we have in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Thailand, there are so many amazing wellness recipes or treatments that has been lost. I think people are looking for that, which makes a very good story too. Now, I'll go on. And number 6 really is to do collaborations with brand platforms. And this must be my favorite, as I've done it so many times. But you can then make it meaningful, and you select partners that actually relate to your business, philosophy, and cause. And you can really get creative, as it may range from F&B to fashion. Well, what I mean is food and beverage, not F&B, to fashion, to music, to art, and even sometimes as simple as a joint media project where you can propose to jointly host a media or PR event, or in support of a humanitarian drive.
So
So
Doris,
as you can see,
could you give us some examples of in any sectors that you've seen that work doing that?
oh, wow. Actually, when I remember when, because I've always been in startups, for the longest time, so hard life. But when we're in startups, it's so hard to find the money to do anything. So what I did was, I told my team, let's look out for like the corner cafes that just opened, and that they need as much business as we do. And then we go approach the owner to collaborate and say that, why don't I bring some of my media friends, and you bring like wise people that you think would support your business, and together, let's do something. So something as simple as that. I mean, I don't want to give too, of course, it can range from that to something that's really big, like sponsoring a whole bikeathon or whatever, right? Which we have also done. In fact, we recently sponsored the Miss Australia, Miss Universe Australia a campaign, big one, where everybody flew down to Bali. So we've done that as well. But again, like I said, at the end of the day, we want here to make it simple. And then later on, I think both Pam and Liz can share even more, digging deeper into this. So I promise to give 10 good ideas, and I'm going to dispense with my 10 good ideas and let my panelists take over. So Mark, shall I go on?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just, on your example, I was speaking to a French brand, cosmetic brand recently, who just launched, and they actually collaborated with a competitor. And you'd think, wow, I wouldn't collaborate with a competitor, but actually one French brand was targeting the domestic market and one was very big in Asia. And they both helped each other internationally. And you would have thought, will I collaborate with my competitor, my spa down the road, when aren't they going to steal business from me? Not always. So I think, particularly when businesses have different strengths, we can all be out there it's surprising. Cooperation is the point you're making, and we don't do that enough.
Yeah, actually, I think all the more, because I think unity is strength, and strength in numbers, so that's that. Sorry, Pam, you want to say something?
Oh, no, I just said it's great PR, by the way, to collaborate with your competitors. You turn heads. The public goes, wow, okay, they must be doing something great if they're joining hands. So that's my thought.
Liz, yeah. So Liz, would you do that?
Yeah, I do. So I will share with you deeper on that point, Doris. I will elaborate more on that point. Collaborations, that's great. Yeah,
That's wonderful. Yeah, right. So Mark, I'll continue with 3 more points. Okay, like I said, and I've finished my promise. I delivered my promise, so to speak. Yeah. So the 7th point really is to source for a solution, to start a customer database platform. In short, the CDP, right? And that is literally for us to build a list and to explore the many ways we can segment valuable data to do personalized and targeted marketing. You know, today data is king, right? There are very many free versions for you to explore online, which is pretty insightful as it is also a learning curve. However, once you find something that you can adopt for your company, I think it's much better to speak with an experienced digital marketing on outsource to help you implement and manage it in the long run. And that's where I think my panelists will come in and share more on this. Yeah. So the eighth idea that I have on the list is to host a class or offer free information or product trials. Now, in these COVID times especially, many companies have taken to online programming to keep their customers engaged. And one of the most successful brand campaigns is Lululemon. The brand actually turned their stores into big yoga studios where customers can register to attend for free or to join online. And they also brought in local yoga teachers in their community to showcase and help them to run these classes. So you may also run digital campaigns to promote and teach a new service, a new product on how to use it, or to demonstrate product or a food line, you know, and have guests signed up their interest for a really good benefit. So again, this can really take creativity to the next level, right? And number 9 is where you can co-sponsor a contest. Again, here you can be as innovative as you like or wish and select the ones that are in line with your business objectives. Yeah? And the last point, last but not least, is to go digital and participate in free webinars to learn and to explore the digital marketing solutions available for your business, like the World Spa and Wellness Forums. So the customer experience journeys, marketing to millennials, etc. I think you can also join the local community networking events relevant to your business course. Like for here, we have Media Wednesdays, for instance, you know, where everybody would join and will pick like out of the way cafes to help them with their business. And everybody goes there and buy your own drink, you know, so things like that. So, but however, my last point before I sign off and hand the floor over is that to do all that I've mentioned, first off, you and your team has to be very resourceful and hands-on. You've got to evaluate and look at who you have on the team to be able to take on these tasks and deliver the end results. And for that, I shall hand over to my panelists, Liz and Pam, who will help enlighten you further on some of the best solutions in boosting your marketing efforts.
So
thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Doris. Before we hand over to Liz, I'm going to ask all the panelists. So I'm a small business owner. I'm running my spa. I've got up to here with the stop-start of COVID. I've got 8 staff. One isn't coming in. The other one's, ill, whatever. I don't have time for this social media promotion. I don't have time for this. What would you say to that person? Who wants to go first? What would you say to the person who doesn't have time, who just says, I just don't have time?
I'm going to ask a simple question. My questions are always very simple. So what do you spend your time doing? Please give me 10 things that you spend your time doing right now.
Well, I'd be saying I was talking to one salon owner. I'm doing treatments. I manage myself. I just don't have time.
Okay, then you're an expert at what you do, right? You're good at what you do. Then you have to look into outsourcing or hiring someone to do that for you. Sometimes you think, okay, marketing is something that you spend on, you cannot get the ROI, you cannot measure it. But think about the time and opportunity cost that you have to skip 3 customers today to do the social media, or you skip 3 hours of sleep, to do social media, and that reduces your productivity. I think people need to factor in everything into numbers sometimes. I'm a marketer, I'm a branding specialist, but I do take in numbers as well. People don't think about that. You have to factor in different elements. So that's why I always ask the questions, what do you spend your time doing? So, you have to prioritize it. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Thank you, Pam. Liz, you run a spa. What would you say to my point? I don't have time. I'm running my spa.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mark. Wow. Now your questions will lead to my sharings. Okay. So let me just start with my sharing, and you get all the ideas, and you will start telling yourself, wow, actually my team have a lot of things to do. Yeah. Okay. So, All right. So thank you, Mark. Again, I'm
Go
so
for it.
glad to be part of this event. Yeah. Thank you to World Spa and Wellness for inviting me to share my experiences in this prestige platform. I was there physically in 2019. Yeah, I share with you, Mark. Yeah. Okay. Great marketing ideas, Doris. Take it from there. Now, today, I just would like to share what I have done in promoting my business on a shoestring budget. I've been in spa business for more than 2 decades. Since then, I have invested quite a significant amount of money on marketing activities. And many occasions, they didn't provide the results that I expected. So we have been living in pandemic situations for over 1.5 years now. During this challenging time, we still have to carry on with our marketing activities, right?
Mhm.
So, but one thing we really have to do, is to reduce our marketing cost. We may have been spending maybe as much as 15% from our revenue on marketing, but now it is imperative to bring it down to as low as possible or even zero. But how? Okay, I'm sure many of us, have tried various strategies in promoting our spas businesses to attract more leads and, of course, retaining our existing spa clients. But what I'm going to share is based on my day spa, because I'm running a day spa. Teratak Spa is a day spa operation where our clients are regular clients. So it may work differently with hotels and resort spas. As we all know, acquiring new clients can cost. I'm sure Pam, you are a marketing expert. Maybe you should agree with me that acquiring new clients can cost as much as 5 times more than retaining the existing clients.
Sure.
So it is something that you may have heard or been doing. Let me share with you about referral marketing. So I'm sure Pam will be expert in this, but this is what I've done so far since pandemic, with Teratak Spa. Of course, it is not a rocket science thing. It's easy. Everyone can do it. And of course, all of us can do it. So my question is, do we agree if I say that recommendation is one of the most powerful methods to attract more clients?
Of course.
Because
right?
it's one form of marketing, it's word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth. So we often buy products and services from our families or friends' recommendation, right? So why is that? Because we believe and trust our families and friends more than social medias and mass medias. Isn't it, Pam?
The top priority, and then the social media could be second, because they're still considered organic anyway, both channels.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So without any extra cost, I can generate more clients through my existing clients. The most important thing that we need to do is to get our clients to recommend our services and products with their families and friends. So it is not easy, but it's possible. Yeah, because I've done that. Now, before we can proceed with the implementations of referral marketing, we have to relook, reset, restructure, and even we have to rebuild our spa client database. I guess Doris mentioned about database just now, right, Doris? You mentioned about the database. Yes. King is the database. So, and I'm sure all of you agree that spa client database is the heart of our business. Collecting and keeping spa client database need to be done properly. I'm sure some of you may already have a complete CRM system. But the question is, how good is our team in utilizing all the data to generate more leads to our business? So now, before we get into recommendation stage, as I mentioned earlier, we need to gain our clients' trust and confidence of our services or our spa brand. So by having a complete client database, it makes our work easier. So we need to know and understand our client well. So what we need to do, we have to study their background, study our clients' demographic, not only demographic, but also psychographic. What they do for a living, for example, yeah? Where they work. Are they doctors, consultants, or housewives? Are they affected by this pandemic? We need to be more aware and sensitive of the situation where many are out of job or business. So, and what is next? What are their likes and dislikes? What is their lifestyles like? Are they food lovers, animal lovers, or healthy lifestyle followers? And which social media platform they are using most of the time? FB, TikTok, or Insta, Twitter, yeah? And what type of communication style or techniques they prefer? Is it calls, emails, or WhatsApp? And how to connect with them? So what would be the best method to approach them? So I have to make sure that I communicate with my clients in the same way. Then only my message will get across effectively. So what's the next step? Once I understand my clients' needs, their wants, their hopes, and their expectation, I created personalized and customized engagement with them. So what I did was easy. I sent during lockdown, I have to close my business, I still communicate with them. I send them personalized appreciation e-card. Easy, I just use Canva. Sometimes I send cards, sometimes I send animated card, to make it more interesting. Send thank you card, and then on special occasion, I send them e-birthday card, wedding anniversary e-card. I have to make sure that the contents, the intonations, the choice of words that I use in my message should synchronize with the client's lifestyle and current situation. That is very important. So I keep talking to them. Then only they remember my brand Terata Spa. And when they remember and happy with my brand, they will keep coming back to me for my services and products. Then if this happens, it means that I have gained their trust and confidence in my brand. They are now become my loyal customers. Now they are my loyal customers, the next step is I get them to introduce my service and products to their families and friends. So this is where the referral program or campaign will come into the picture. So what I did, I start promoting member get member campaign, WM campaign, just like Pam said just now, yeah, with an attractive reward. You need to give them a reward, yeah, as a thank you token to them. Now, referral program is just simply rewarding a referral whenever she introduces a new client to us. So I send her thank you cards, yeah, thank you e-card for introducing new client, of course, together with a 20 minutes complimentary back massage, just for example, yeah. Sometimes I even send them appreciation gift if I have extra budget now, yeah. Remember, it has to be personalized, again, personalized, customized gift, not just a gift. I choose the right gift from the information that I get in the client database. Again, so the database is playing a big role here. People don't appreciate free gift unless if the gift is useful to them. So we have to be practical sometimes. Let me give you an example. If my client is a workout person, I might get her maybe a Nike discount voucher as a gift for that client, which may cost me just a very little amount, yeah? So as mentioned by Doris just now, this is where I apply the collaboration idea with established brands. Yeah. So I hope you got the idea. And of course, our loyal client would love this, definitely. And they will definitely bring more clients to us. It really works for me, Mark. And I'm sure, I hope it will work for all of us, yeah? With just a little cost, you can now generate more clients and at the same time retaining our existing clients. So I end my sharing with make them happy, appreciate them, and of course, reward them. So back to you, Mark.
Well, no, I think that is very interesting that you've really majored on something that is effectively free or very little cost is really using and leveraging your customers. Do you do any incentive? If I'm a customer of yours and I introduce a friend, do you do any incentive for me as a thank you if I introduce a friend, or is that too obvious?
Oh, of course, Mark. First, I will definitely immediately after, because all the data I collected from the consultation form, because we are doing an online consultation form prior to the client visits. So in the consultation form, that's where we collect the data. So in the consultation form, I'll make sure there's a questions. How do you know about us? So of course, your friend will put remarks there from Mark. And I know that you are my clients, my existing clients. So immediately I will send you a thank you card. And I will look through all the history. You will become my loyal customer. And I will send you a rewards. I will send you, it depends again. I come back
But you don't say like some more big companies, recommend a friend and you get $10 off or you get a gift. You don't make it so obvious. That's not in your spa.
Sometimes it depends. Again, so I emphasize on personalized and customized. So I will look through your history, my client history. So what do you like? What is your likes and dislikes? So like I gave an example just now, if you are a workout person, so you love, buying sports attire. So I might find a gift that really excites you rather than just give a $10 or a free back massage.
So, there'll be big spas watching this who will be thinking, what's Liz got to teach me? She runs a relatively small place. But I tell you what, it's so simple, but most of us don't do it. We don't keep that data on our clients.
Right.
No, if we're lucky, we know when their birthdays are, but that's about it, most of us. But if we really understand, and so you've taken just getting that little bit of data and that customer referral to an art form, and that's cost you no marketing budget.
Yeah.
So very interesting there. Thank you, Liz. I'm last but not least is Pam Nopasri. What would you say to that, Pam, and carry on with your presentation?
Oh yeah, definitely. I said it's one form of marketing, but I was going to say exactly. You just took the words out of my mouth, Mark. It's like it costs almost nothing to do this, and it's a process. It's a process, meaning that from the moment they walk into the door and they fill the consultation form, the process starts there. You have to take initiative. You have to be attentive from that very moment on, so that you can actually carry on this process, right? So I'm not gonna touch on your points a whole lot because that's your thing. But first of all, thank you, Mark, for having me today. And thank you, World Spa and Wellness Asia Conference. And everyone, my name is Pam, and I'm the founder and managing director of an agency called Pam Plus Plus, based in Bangkok, Thailand. We are a consulting firm on branding and marketing. And our firm focuses on realistic marketing and branding solutions. So when I was asked to speak about marketing strategy on a shoestring, I immediately accepted the invitation because, COVID or not, Why spend your marketing budget unnecessarily, right? So that's why we totally completely, believe in the realistic marketing. So, and another thing is at Pam++, we take pride on being strategists first and implementators second. That's why we are a consulting firm. So thank you, Liz and Doris, for giving us very good tips on some marketing activities, marketing channels that can be applied, whether you're a big spa or a hotel or resort spa. So I'm going to finish off our session here with some basic strategy, right? Based on your suggestions, taking you back to the beginning of it all, taking a few steps back and strategize before you actually start spending, because if you start off on the right foot, the marketing budget will be spent wisely and effectively. So as promised on my previous video, we're just going to go over the 4 very simple questions, and let's look at each one of them strategically. And I promise you that they will give you a bit of a direction, to get started. Okay. Number 1, right? Very simple. What do you sell, right? How much do you understand your products and services, right? You don't have to answer out loud, but I know the answer is yes, right? Why else would you be in this business if you didn't, right? But did you check with your customers, or have you checked lately, right? I am an advocate of the outside in and not inside out approach to marketing, right? It is key to success, because at the end of the day, who's paying for it, right? So we have to be creative, right? What this means is that you don't have to, well, you take the core values of what you have to offer, but you don't have to change who you are or your products, right? But you adapt them to your audiences, create content that relates to them, having benefits, like personal benefits to them. Yelling out features and USPs is one thing, but actually having them feel the benefits to them is another, right? So I know it's your baby, it's your spa, it's your company, but at the end of the day, you're in the business to attract these customers, okay? So especially these past 12 or 18 months, we all know the consumer behavior has changed tremendously and very, very quickly, right? So if you thought you had the understanding, well, think again, adapt, evolve, put them in the center of your marketing, okay? And so that's 1. So number 2, right? To whom do you want to sell it to, right? Liz touched on it a little bit. I'm just going to expand a little bit more. Think clearly, right? One product can never be for everyone, right? You may disagree with me, but let's talk the terms target audiences for a second here, okay? Personally, okay? If you don't agree, raise your hand, right? There are no more target audiences by demographics, such as sex or income level or geographical areas or the A+ or the B+ anymore. I don't believe that, right? One person can be an adventurer at one point in their lives when they're with their friends, and they can be a baby store patron when they're with their family, right? So you have to look at their lifestyle and their mindset. That's how you categorize your target groups, right? That's how you understand your audiences, right? So, well, if you still insist that your product is a one-size-fits-all, I'd probably say yes, but you have to understand that it means that you could cover all sexes, all ages, all cities, but these guys, they have to have some sort of common ground, common traits, common personalities, common preferences, whatever, for your products and services, right? So find them and understand why they buy and when they buy, right? And then, of course, you can have more than one groups of customers, right? But you have to put them in tiers, in different categories, different priorities. So that way you can allocate your time, your resources, and your efforts, effectively, right? And number 3 is, how will you reach them with the budget that you have, right? So marketing strategy on a shoestring here we go. We can't deny the fact that the digital marketing, namely what? The social media, the search engine, the viral campaigns, the influencers, right? The social media is the most economical, right? Still economical, but costs a little bit more than it did years ago. Efficient, and dynamic way to go, right? However, I found that, more oftentimes than not, people use these things as platforms, as channels, right? Rather than their stage. These social media channels should be your stage. You're the performers, right? Especially with the spa business. Content is key, right? The platforms can be the same as any other industry, but with the spa business, how you convey the comfort, the relaxation, the skills of your masseuse, and still yet, promote the safety, and the hygienic measures of what you have, right? How do you do that? Through pictures, clips, and text, right? So it is your stage. It has to move people. It has to relate, right? It has to give feelings. So what you can do is you can establish your photography mood and tone, your videography mood and tone. You create content categories, what you want to promote first and at what stage, so that way you're not throwing information left and right, right? Liz and Doris talked about the different marketing activities that you do. You could get all all very busy. As Mark said, I'm busy, I don't have time to do this. But if you plan well, right? You design things well. Marketing is a design work as well. So create it, not throwing information left and right. You can control what you like to say and when, right? And that way, you spend wisely on controlled and well-planned content that would yield relevant results, okay? And lastly, right, what will you say to them? Okay, this is key, right? This is the heart and soul of our company. It's people call it branding, some people call it DNA, core values, key messages, unique selling points, whatever you call it. This is big one big pot, right? At this point, right, you know what you're selling or who you are, right? To whom you want to sell it to, and how you reach them, right? If you say the wrong thing, all the efforts wasted, right? So ask yourself, okay, do you want to be sold to, or you want to be told a story and be inspired to experience or to buy? So if you have not done so, please revisit your storyline. Okay, by storyline, I don't mean the whole history and legacy of things, but something that goes beyond a list of treatments, list of services, list of promotions, list of the precious brands of oils that you use, right? Those are good, but go beyond that. So that's your storyline, something that people can talk about, right? Because, we want to touch people on an intangible level, because tangible level is easy. And what easy means is that it's easy come, easy go, easily forgotten when the competition is high. Okay, so those are my 4 things, right? What do you sell? To whom do you want to sell it to? How do you reach them? And what are you going to say to them? Right? Sounds very, very simple enough, but you have to dig deep and know yourself before you actually start spending the money. And then you spend wisely, I promise you. I've been doing this for 2 decades, right? So ask yourself these questions. These will set you a strong foundation, and it doesn't take long. Okay, so I'll promise it'll be worth it and be very cost effective. Okay, so back to you, Mark.
Well, I think that's very true. I think the thing is that we assume, don't we? I think we assume sometimes that we know our customers, and actually finding mechanisms to ask them, which I'm not saying we at World Spa and Wellness do enough, is always, you can never ask them enough. And I find that many customers, we had a couple of focus groups this week with our readers, visitors, and they're very pleased, to almost honored to be invited to ask, because you've bothered to ask. What, me? I'm only in small town X, and yet you've asked me. And of course, yeah, because we want to know. And I think many customers we forget that, yes, we're asking for a favor, but they're almost quite honored, and loyal customers are really pleased to help you.
Yeah.
And they feel on the inside.
Yeah.
So we don't do enough. I'm
And
going to ask all of you.
Yes.
It's a bit of an unfair question, but can you give me some figures in money, in either US dollars, Thai baht, or whatever the currency, in examples of companies who've done well on a low budget, in any sector, If Doris, you could have been promoting a cafe, and what have they spent over the year? It's a little unfair question because it's how long's a piece of string, but I think people out there again thinking, yeah, what should I be spending? And I think it might help if you give examples of how low or how high people have spent.
Well, Mark, thanks for the question. Actually, you're right. I mean, we have to spend somewhere, and then when you start, because like I said, I started a hotel brand, and that's Alila, and we had like literally nothing to spend on. So I think at least you must have $10,000 to start with, and
US.
that is putting aside US, yeah, and that's putting aside any travel, literally. So you need at least, look, even if I take you out for a lunch, it has to cost something.
It's going to cost. It's going to cost you a lot of money. Going to come to London, but I look forward to it.
That's what I mean. So it has to start with something, and I mean, again, I'm sure it will be different from a Pam or Liz perspective. But here, sitting in Singapore, 10,000 is very, very little. Which was why in the beginning, and I'm talking about like 20 years ago, right? We started with social media because it was so cheap those days, so cheap. And if you were to look at, of course, I ran through very quickly. I mean, one of my points was as simple as go on to Google, because we use Google a lot. We Google to find out something. We go into Google Maps to find out something, but nobody ever knew that on Google, you can actually set up a free profile, and that's free, right? And many a time, I've got to learn about new restaurants and new businesses, all because I use Google. So like, for instance, I'm traveling somewhere and I remember I was an Antibes and I was hungry for Italian. So I went on a map and I literally went in and said that, best Italian food, And I tell you, I went to the #1 TripAdvisor recommended little restaurant owned by a couple who migrated from France. Who migrated from southern Italy. Sorry, yeah. So there you go, So people never knew that, and it's free. And these guys, they're not rich, they're just earning a living, but they are amazing. So, that's where it is. So I think looking for these sort of things, like what Pam said, it is, you just have to see, you have to understand first what are you going to achieve? And what is it all about? What is your story? How are you going to find your customers? And this is where, like I said, when we put together that list, I start out with looking at what did I do as a startup when I didn't have a single cent? How did I go on? And that's where we start looking at the cheapest things to do. But you're right, Mark. I think in a way, all of us did not really answer your question as to, like, for you are very busy. You're running your spa. What are you going to do? I'm at the back of my mind, I remembered you saying that. So to me, it's like you would literally have to look inward and re-segmentize or restructure your team. Maybe get your spa manager or receptionist to do something like that, train her, or I mean, then you have to get in, new talent or get in interns, young people from the university. They are doing such things, and give them like 3 months stint so that they have fun, you have fun, and also get them into enjoying it as well by giving them benefits as well, right? So, and one thing I want to say about Liz, Liz was mentioning, right? And you asked Liz a question. Do you go out and tell them that if you recommend somebody, I give you something? And I love the fact that Liz customized it and it is an unsaid benefit. Because can you imagine if let's say my friend, okay, I love Liz Spa, and I'm going to tell somebody, and my friend would say, what have you got through this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm getting a free massage. It sounds awful.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So Liz, that is really good. Well done. I think we have to take a leave off that.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. Liz, so you start your spa and you don't have the clients yet.
Okay.
A little so if you're starting in another city or another town in Malaysia, you don't have the clients. What would you say, top of your head, as a budget is realistic for a day spa to need to spend in US, do you think, for the first year? Can you answer that?
Okay. Now, with 25 years, my brand in the markets, and starting another new outlet elsewhere in Malaysia, it's much easier for me because I've already established my brand. But
Sure.
if a newcomer, what I will do is I will work. Number one, I have to really focus on the target audience and market. Yeah, in this pandemic situations. So I really have to refine my target market. So who are the people that I want to sell my products and my services? So from there, of course, I need to use the social medias, nowadays, TikTok and all that, to establish my new brand in that particular new area. So by using a social media, as Pam mentions, yeah, sometimes FB ads, you need to spend a little bit of money, but yeah, but still not much money that you need to spend. You still have to go on social media for you to establish for now. Yeah, so that is my that I think of.
Pam, thank you, Liz. Pam, I'll go to you and then we'll wrap up and go to the lounge. But Pam, give me some examples of low budget clients that you've had.
Yes, you're right. It's not an unfair question, but it's a difficult question. I have a number for you, but probably not in dollar sign. But we work with brands from from a 5-seat restaurant to 600 key hotels and stuff like that, and we always do their budgets for them, for marketing budget. So I believe in spending, but spending wisely, as I emphasized on during my my talk. We have to spend something, but we have to spend wisely. So if you don't know the amount, and usually that's the answer that I get from my clients, what's your marketing budget? I don't know, right? So I say, okay, you look at your forecasted income, right? Not your revenues from last year, because in 2019, 2020, you can't really look at that. You look at your forecasted revenue, and can you take 3% of that and spend on marketing, right? That would be an ideal situation for an ongoing business, right? Situations like this on a shoestring, 1% possible, right? For an ongoing business, right? But if you said, I can't, I'm barely making, any money at all, then you have to think of it this way. Financially speaking, you have to think of it as investment, right? If you're gonna come back again, you want to make a kingly comeback again, you have to do some sort of an investment. You have to put aside that investment. You divide it in, I would say 6 months, 3 months would be too short. You do that, right? I don't know what it is, but usually the rule of thumb is ideally 3% of your forecasted marketing, forecasted revenues. I say forecasted because sometimes you take the actual revenues and then you get depressed, right? But forecasted means that you have to actually make it work. Okay.
No, so, I think that's a good, the percentage of revenue is a good way of answering that.
Yeah, so one last thing is you combine it, then it forces you to combine different forms of marketing. The one that costs so little, like Liz said, and the social media that you have to spend, and you know what I mean, right? So it forces you to actually, do that. Good. Yeah.
Well,
which is why, like I said, Mark, going back to the question, I mean, that's why I said when we started a business, let's say we don't have a brand, we don't have any, just like startup, right? So you have to think of, like what Pam said, to put aside a sum of money. So that was where, when I said 10,000, because it's like you have to have something to spend.
That investment. No, I get that. Listen, ladies, we have to go to the lounge now. So we're going to go through to the lounge. We're going to leave you now on this, and we'll see you all in the lounge. Pam Nopasri, Doris Go, Liz Oatman, thank you so much. And we'll see everybody. I will see you in the lounge in about 30 seconds, 60 seconds. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.